Hey there, this is Mr. Icarus, and welcome to yet another edition of Doom Mod Madness. This time round, we're checking out a mod by the name of Star Trek Doom. Which Star Trek exactly? The Next Generation, because we got the Borg, we got the Enterprise D, and a lightsaber. We have a lightsaber. One of these things is not like the others. One of these things does not belong. So I think it's safe to say that the Enterprise has seen better days. The poor thing's found itself smack bang in the middle of an intergalactic slap fight between the Borg and the memorably named species 8472. Did I actually get that right? I actually got that right, wow. So what's the deal between these two things? Well, one, the Borg are a technological hybrid species that seeks to assimilate and consume all life that it comes across into its collective consciousness with the ultimate aim of becoming Wimbledon tennis champions. Oh god, that's a terrible joke. Why did I even think of including that? You know what I was doing? I was trying to combine the Borg with Bjorn Borg. No one's gonna friggin' remember Bjorn Borg. So what about species 2467? Well, they're basically a biotech uber species that really just hates everything else, especially the Borg. Put them both together, you got a recipe for a bit of a tussle. And you come in when you find a futuristic-looking supersuit in your shuttle, enabling you to actually take both of them on and hopefully reclaim the Enterprise. Believe it or not, this mod has been on and off developed since 1997. Even then, what's available here only really constitutes a demo. It's clearly been a labor of love for the author behind it. I'm assuming very much a one-man show, and it really does feel like a grab bag of elements that have been slowly added over the years. But one element that I really do enjoy the inclusion of here is the holodeck. If you don't know what it is, it's a place on the ship that allows you to generate a holographic yet fully interactive rendition of pretty much anything you like, be it a historical event, fictional story, or something from fantasy, such as the weird ogre that I just took out. But in this case, the Borg have managed to find their way in, so clearly the riffraff need to be cleared out. Secretly, though, I was hoping that they'd maybe replicate the scene out of First Contact. You know the one. We didn't even get the Tommy gun. It's a shame, really, but what we do get instead are a roster of, let's say, more traditional Trek weapons, starting from the plasma torch, which totally wasn't a lightsaber back at the start, and moving up to the likes of the phasers, which come in a few varieties. You got your Mark 1 phaser, which is a little bit more rapid fire, but not quite as damage dealing. Then you can dual wield said phasers, which I guess is essentially a replacement for the chain gun, and then you move up to the Mark II, which functions very much as in its single-wielded form as a shotgun, but when you've got them dual-wielded, it kind of replaces the super shotgun. So I see what they were doing with that. Interesting, but the phasers have never been particularly satisfying weapons to fire. They're always, very pew-pew in feel. The phaser rifle, however, is where things get a little bit more satisfying, what with being essentially a replacement for the plasma gun, if a little ski-whiffy. And what I mean by that, it's left-aligned, which is kind of strange. I'm used to my weapons being right-hand side aligned, and also when you fire it, the projectiles still just go straight ahead, which, with the angle of the weapon sprite, just doesn't look right. So I'm hoping in future tweaks or future releases of this, the author maybe amends that particular weapon sprite. But there are a few touches here that I enjoy. I enjoy these text logs that you get when you encounter certain events or certain characters within this mod that give you the rundown on what you'll be doing next. I like the fact that the security team has tiny Doom Guy helmets on, which is slightly adorable. And I think I just like the fact that someone actually got around to finally releasing a Star Trek Doom mod, because, you know what? This is something that I've had a profound need for a while. I keep seeing projects, but they always end up dying, so I'm glad to just have something at this point. The latter part of this mod will have you diving deep into the heart of the Borg cube, where you'll reunite with firm fan favorite and fellow beard enthusiast Commander Riker. Not only is he awesome for his choice of facial hair, he's also awesome for the fact that he straight up hands you a photon torpedo launcher. So that's nice, but another aspect of this that I quite enjoy is that it goes to great pains to make you understand why all of these prominent characters from the show are simply stood about instead of chipping in to help destroy the Borg. And that's because historically the Borg are well known to be pretty well suited to adapting to whatever crap you can throw at them. But in this case, for the sake of the mod, your character has obtained some super special futuristic armor that just so happened to materialize in your character's shuttle at the start of the mod. So, very convenient, but, good enough justification for me. But this is probably my favorite touch out of all of them. The Borg Queen, instead of plugging into a torso, plugs into Spider Mastermind legs. That is an inspired touch. Bravo, good sir. Bravo. That made me chuckle for a good few minutes, that did. As for the boss battle itself, it's not really that much to write home about. It's simple, it's straightforward, just keep shooting that photon torpedo launcher until the bitch falls over, and if you're taking too many hits from the hit scan, there are a few pillars on the left and right that you can easily duck behind. If I'm going to be honest though, the real star of the show for me has got to be the clear care and attention that's gone into the visual design of the levels in Star Trek Doom here, because these are some real nice recreations. I love the look of the Borg cube here. This is pretty much how I'd expect it to look on the inside. A lot of attention to detail here, it's great. And the same goes for the hallways of the Enterprise D, the shuttle bay, the transporter room, and a little later on you do get to have a little bit of a wander around the bridge itself. But when it comes to playable content, that is largely all she wrote when it comes to Star Trek Doom. I mean, sure, you can dick around on the bridge with a BFG. There is a door here that will lead you to a slight extra snippet of level for you to play through, but yeah, I'm just surprised that Star Trek seems so, let's say, neglected when it comes to the realm of Doom modding. I mean, it's not as if Star Trek itself is a stranger when it comes to the FPS genre itself. There's entries such as Elite Force, Klingon Honor Guard, Elite Force 2. Alright, so there's 3 of them, but still, that counts. And if anything, I just hope that this serves as a nudge, a boost even, for anyone out there thinking about making some Star Trek-themed Doom content, or currently wondering whether they should even continue. But trust me, there are people out there that would love to play it. There are literally dozens of us. And when it comes to the subject of how I felt about this particular Star Trek Doom mod, I've enjoyed myself. Granted, it's extremely short, it's a mere taste of what could potentially be possible, but like I've already said, I'm hoping for a heck of a lot more. Anyway, if I've piqued your interest and you'd like to give this a whirl for yourself, you'll find the link, as usual, in the description below. But quick word of warning, if you find yourself in the turbo lift, make sure you move forward after it gets going. If you stick around at the back, it just keeps going. Forever. And ever. And ever. Basically, you need to walk across a very specific line to make sure it actually reaches its destination. So don't end up like I did, wasting time wondering what the feck was wrong with the turbo lift. Anyway, while I'm at it, I'd like to give a great big thank you to my wonderful patrons over on Patreon. Thank you so very much for supporting the channel and for helping to make content like this possible. If you're interested in lending a hand yourself, maybe you'd like to see your name in the credits, maybe you'd like to gain early access to my videos before anyone else, well, if that's the case, you'll find the link to my Patreon page also in the description below. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video. Feel free to let me know what you thought in the comments, and feel free to suggest any mod you'd like to see me cover in future editions of Doom Mod Madness. This has been Mr. Icarus, trapped eternally in a turbo lift. Icarus out.